It's time to make a decision. What would you like to do now? I'm hungry. May I have an ice cream cone, please? Yes, but which kind of ice cream would you like? You'll have to make a few more decisions. Most of the things you do need you to make choices. Let's imagine each choice is like a thought bubble that you have to pop. Here's the first bubble. Would you like to go to an ice cream truck? Or to a cafe? On the next choice, would you like a single scoop of plain ice cream or 3 scoops with toppings? A short wait, but not many flavors. A longer wait, but lots of flavors. The cafe, good choice. Not too expensive, very expensive. Some of your neurons do the job of deciding how quickly you want this treat. Some neurons can compare how much money you have to spend with how sad you will feel not to have that money anymore. Another decision, and this one's all about lots of choice. Sometimes it's easier to make decisions by thinking about what emotions you're feeling. Which out of all these flavors would you like? Arg, there's too much choice. I can't take it all in. Luckily, there are neurons that stop you from overloading with information. They help your brain focus on just a few options. Yum! Blur, I feel too full now. I wish I'd chosen a smaller treat. Never mind, bad experiences are actually really important. They help your brain make better decisions next time. This is a big part of learning. Welcome to your brain's learning garden. This is where you can improve your decision making and your skills. The real secret is neurons. The real secret to neurons is how well they are connected to each other. It's so tangled in here, like lots of plants twisted together. Exactly. When you're little, your neurons have lots and lots of connections. It's really tangled in your brain. Learning new things is all about making useful connections stronger and getting rid of unhelpful ones. Untangling neurons. To make your brain do something, you have to send a message along one branch of neurons. If it's a helpful branch, your brain will try to remember the root. If it's an unhelpful branch, your brain will cut it off so you don't use it again. When you use your brain to do something, you need to send a signal across your tangled branches. Learning how to do something, whether it's walking, talking, or brushing your teeth, it's all about finding the best way through. Practicing a skill is a mixture of two things: cutting away branches that you don't need and making the branches you do need stronger and stronger. But it's hard to know which branches to cut away, and that means we all make lots of mistakes while we're learning. I'm not afraid of making some mistakes if it helps me learn better. Just like any part of your body, your brain needs looking after. Sometimes it's not possible to stop your brain from being unwell, but there are lots of things you can do to help. Your brain loves exercise, jumping, dancing, playing, any kind of moving around. Makes your brain send messages around your body that make you feel happy. Your brain loves food, especially a balanced diet. Any mix of foods that keeps your body healthy will also keep your brain healthy. Your brain loves other brains. It's good to spend time with your family, your friends, and to meet new people. Your brain loves sleep. It's not just good for learning. Sleep helps you cope with everyday life more easily and can stop you from feeling too sad. Your brain likes to be active. Try new things, explore, be curious. Most brains look the same, but they all work slightly differently. For example, some people's brains see words in a different way, so they often use different techniques to learn how to read and write. Try skim reading a sentence first, then go back to look at each word. Taking care of your brain also means thinking about how you feel. Everybody has times when they feel really happy and also really sad. This is normal, but it's important to recognize your feelings. I feel really sad. I can't concentrate. I'm worried about things. I keep forgetting things. It can happen that a person feels sad or worried all the time. This might mean that person is suffering from a condition called depression or anxiety. Just as there are doctors who can help your body if your body is sick, doctors can help if your mind is sick too. I've learned so many amazing things already, but how do we know so much about our brains? Let me show you. Here we are, in my brain science study. My friends are hard at work. What's this? It's a machine called a brain scanner. I'm using it to see what's happening inside this person's brain while she's thinking. She has to stay very still. This screen shows her brain. The bright parts are where extra blood is flowing. That means the brain is working hard in those parts. I'm looking at old neurons through a microscope. Some of them are very beautiful. I'm using a computer to test ideas about how brains work. I want to see if I can make my computer think like a person. This is our medicine cabinet. Lots of brain problems can be helped by taking the right kinds of medicines, but they have to be tested very carefully. This is our library. We read lots of science books about brains. We also love looking at art and reading stories. Almost everything that people create tells us about what's going on in their brains. That looks fun. What are they doing? They're doing an experiment. My friends want to see what happens when they try to build two different puzzles at the same time. What do you call people who study brains? People who study how we think and behave are called psychologists. Doctors who help people look after their mental health are called psychiatrists. People who study what brains are made of and how they work are called neuroscientists. Can I be a neuroscientist too? By asking questions about your brain, you already are. All you need to get started is curiosity. Do you have any more questions? I have lots and lots of questions. Are big brains cleverer? Do animals have neurons too? What about ants? Do they have brains? How big will my brain get? How did I learn to talk? Do all neurons look the same? What do the folds in my brain do? Let me try to give you some answers. Are big brains clever? No. Do animals have neurons too? Yes. What about ants? Do they have brains? Yes, ants have simple, tiny brains. How big will my brain get? About the same size as two fists pressed together. How did I learn to talk? I also have a secret to share with you. Brain scientists only know a little about how brains work. There are so many more things to discover. If you become a neuroscientist, perhaps you will find out something about brains that nobody ever knew before. Do all neurons look the same? No, they come in many shapes and sizes. I guess the answer to how did I learn to talk is learning to talk starts with a baby language called babbling. What do the folds in my brain do? They allow all your neurons to fit inside your head. Here are some brain facts we do know. By the time you're born, your brain has almost all the neurons it will ever have. That's why babies have such big heads. By the time you're 2 years old, your brain has nearly as many neurons as there are stars in the galaxy. Around 80 billion. Every time you think or remember or just do something, you're using millions of neurons to send messages. Teenage brains can get overloaded with connections between their neurons. By the time you're 25, your grown-up brain has strengthened the best connections until they shine out like constellations in the night sky. My brain is incredible!